You may know me as Tommy Oliver. You may know me as the Green Ranger. But I am not the man you know. I am a man from a different reality. I conquered my Earth and became someone infinitely more powerful. I am Lord Drakkon. Now I'm coming back to this world to conquer the Power Rangers here and everywhere else, wherever and whenever they're hiding. And that's just the beginning.
And what you just saw then was a trailer for the upcoming Power Rangers comic storyline, Shattered Grid, which is starting up next month and will be spanning over 2 different Power Ranger comic book issues, Go-Go Power Rangers and the main line of Power Ranger comics done by Boom, which they're both done by Boom, except they'll be spanning over 2 different storylines throughout the comics, so it'll be interesting to see how they do that. But if you don't know who Lord Drakkon is a character they introduced in the Boom comics, where basically that video just explained it all. It's basically an alternate timeline of Tommy Oliver that went rogue and went evil and basically killed the entire team of the original Power Rangers and absorbed the White Ranger powers and the Green Ranger powers, becoming this all-powerful being in his universe where he basically ruled over it. And spoilers if you are not up to date with the comic or you're looking to check it out, but basically roughly around in issue 14 or 15 I believe, Tommy was basically, well, the evil Tommy, he was basically defeated and captured in the present timeline, and then in the latest issue it was revealed that he was captured by this government organization and they are feeding off his energy to manipulate, I believe, their own morphin grid or power grid. So it's interesting to see where they're going to go with this storyline. And what they've teased with this Shattered Grid storyline, it looks like that Lord Drakkon will be going to all different continuities of the Power Rangers, from Lightspeed Rescue to In Space to RPM to Dino Thunder, all these different timelines, to basically mess with the other Rangers and supposedly kill them if they want to go that dark with it, because there is death in this series that they implied that Jason was killed by Tommy in this alternate universe, and that was kind of the main seller for this character for me, where they went all PG-13 with this Power Ranger comic. And I know that sounds really silly, but when you read the issue and you just binge read it, when you get to that certain arc and the point of the show or series, it gets really good and you can't put it down. I recommend the Boom Power Ranger comic is a must read. Go-Go Power Rangers and the current run that they're doing is a must read if you want to check it out, in my opinion. Now, I'm really excited for the Shattered Grid storyline, but my own main problem is how it's going to span over 2 different comic books, and that's what really turns me away from reading monthly DCs and monthly Marvels, where they have their big story arcs and everything is going on in different comics. So if you want to read the latest story in DC, you have to pick up this certain issue of Batman or this certain issue of Green Lantern and this certain of Justice League. It's a bit of a clusterfuck to get around, and that's why when stuff like that is out, I just read it once it's in its hardbook cover form, which I'll probably be doing with this Shattered Grid storyline. But seeing how much they've hyped it up and what I've been keeping up monthly with the comic, I'm definitely going to want to try and keep up with this monthly and maybe even talk about it on the channel if I get the chance to. So I'd love to bring you that kind of stuff where I talk about this comic book and try and hook you into reading it, because that's one thing I want to do, is sell you guys this comic and make sure you love it just as much as I do, because it's a fun read once you actually start reading it. Now, I don't have any big predictions where I think the storyline or the story arc will go. I'm just going to see where it goes and read along with it, but I'm curious to see what timelines Lord Drakkon is going to mess up, because if you haven't read the story arc that he was in, he was a pretty strong ruler, and the grip he had on his alternate timeline where no one could stand up to him because they had all this power. So if he gets power in these certain universes or in this current universe, I'm excited to see where he goes with that power and what he does or what happens, because it's cool to see Lord Drakkon getting in the spotlight again. I know he's a big fan favorite. He's a big, even JDF is a big fan of this character. Jason David Frankie plays Tommy Oliver in Power Rangers, but everyone is a fan of this character and how cool he is and his backstory and his design. I mean, if you go back and listen to some cons, JDF says he's always wanted a PG-13 Green Ranger movie, and this is the closest thing he is going to get to that. So it's cool that he's getting this storyline and fans are getting the storyline where this Power Rangers comic book can take a somewhat dark route. Now, not really dark and bloody and violent, but in a dark PG-13 kind of way, which is kind of cool in its own sense. I mean, we're never going to get a R-rated Power Ranger film like that. A Zeke, whatever guy posted 3 or 4 years ago, but this is like the closest thing we'll get, but not as violent and not as bloody, but you can like throw speculation to if a character died, even if you don't show it. Like, you can show a character dying off screen and imply it and see where that goes. So even if it won't be that bloody, you can still say all this dark stuff happened, but not show it and get away with it, even if it's a Power Rangers series. So it's clever writing and strange writing to get around, but still, it's enjoyable for me. But I have rambled on long enough about this Power Rangers comic and its upcoming storyline. I am curious to see where the Go-Go Power Rangers storyline is going to go, because that's in its first story arc, and I'll see where that wraps up eventually. I think that storyline is going to wrap up in the next issue, or the next issue or two, that will coincide with the Shattered Grid storyline, and in 2 issues, issue 25 is when the Shattered Grid storyline happens in the mainline comics. So I'm excited to see where that goes and what happens. I've said that a lot, excited to see where it goes and what happens, but like I said, we'll see where it goes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I need your support, or I could use your support if you want to give it. But thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and peace out. Bye.